things of this tour right here depend on all idiomatic expressions. Very, very many things, like if you see the sausages hanging at the roof, of course there's one saying in German, and that is, don't step into the fat bowl. Normally, underneath these sausages, there were little bowls, and the fat from the sausages was caught. So there's this saying, if you run around like mad, and if you don't watch your steps, then you may step into the bowl. Yeah? So there are many, many idiomatic expressions which we use here. This we also know, it's for people carrying water buckets. Of course, this was used for the clothes, for the cloth, towels and cloths of any kind. So the water was rinsed out of the cloth as well. Different washing equipment, of course, personal for washing, no central water equipment, and so on. And I would like to show you one thing which is, of course, visible here. We have insect attack. Although it was cleaned, but look at this real closely.
Yeah, holes.
There are holes.
So there are spiders too.
And wherever you have attack by wood-destroying beetles, there are spiders around. This attack is active now for maybe some years, 5 years or something like that. Yeah? So, again, 19 years ago, the whole building was treated by hot air treatment. This area was also treated, right here. The area where we will go to right now was not treated, but the top was treated as well. So, with the exception of the living rooms, which we will enter in a minute, everything was treated with hot air, meaning 100 degrees hot air for almost 20 hours. By the way, these are big cupboards, of course.
Are they all made oak? Or,
Most of them are made of oak.
how about the building itself?
The building contains a lot of oak and some softwood as well. Yeah. So look, these are the sleeping places for, not for the owners of the building, but of course for the workers. That's here and also there. And of course,
Mostly female?
no, of course they were separated. Females and males. Ist das korrekt? Getrennte Frauen und Männer, ne? 3 to 4 persons in one of those aggregations right here. So, yeah. And on the other hand, look at that window over there. The people owning this place could control any cross traffic. Yeah? So, there was no cross trafficking, of course. Look at this. And this, of course, is very, very special.
Yes.
These are all original wall tiles from the Netherlands. And it's quite a lot of value when you look around in all of these rooms. And they also tell stories, sometimes from the Bible, sometimes from other stories. So they are not the same, every one of them. This, of course, again, see, all the valuables right here. And this is the bride's chest, with all the traditional clothing, with all the bedwear and everything. And this is how the people looked. So that's the traditional ornament, their uniform. And it's not only the Sunday's uniform when they went to church, but it's also for other festivities. So this is, of course, a very nice ornamented chest right here. And again, you see 4 legs right here, but you would have a hard time of transporting the one. So the lid was closed, it was turned around and moved like a sledge. We are now sitting on a very, very special piece of furniture. Can you imagine that this is the chicken bench?
Chicken.
It's chicken, the chicken bench, because down here the chicken were grown.
Oh. And people sit on here?
People sit on here, people live in this living room, and the chicken were grown here. So the chicken were running around also. When you're sitting comfortable on this bench, do you feel comfortable, or is it some kind of strange sitting on this bench?
Pretty comfortable.
Is it for you? Yes. For me, it's not so comfortable. Look at my legs right here.
Oh, it does
Yeah,
not-
see,
oh.
and the blood is cut off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, can you imagine that? And so there's this story that is told whenever people were visiting in this room,
Okay.
and they weren't the very good friends. They were asked to sit on the bench, yeah? And it was really like that they were leaving this place after a few minutes because they couldn't sit anymore, yeah? So that's for a comfortable sitting. It's not very comfortable.
back.
And it also
like
like
this.
this, yeah? For big people like me, it's hard anyhow. So this is the chicken bench. Very, very special. There's another thing. Look
Yes.
at the big wooden parts. Why are these wooden parts? Why did they construct wooden parts like this? Have you ever seen mice running around and mice trying to get on the table?
Oh, wow, this is very smart.
That's a very smart action because mice can't walk like this. Now you're facing the beds of the family. And there were quite a lot of people sleeping in those locations. Okay. This is the antagonistic beetle.
Okay.
Remember the blue clarite beetle which I showed as the antagonist? That's this beetle right here. See?
So it's a good guy.
He's a good guy, but of course he definitely shows us that there are some wood-destroying insects inside. This right here. It's a very special thing. You can open it. You can use your hand to grab something. It's not a mouse trap, but it's a device for storing salt. This object and all the other ones, different grain was stored and measured. So like wheat, rye, and all corn-like structures were measured. And this is a measure which in German is called Scheffel. Scheffel. It's a German word, and maybe there's no translation for it. Yeah? You filled in the material, the rye, the wheat, and so on, and then you used something to flatten it like this, and then you had like maybe 10 liters of wheat. It is really a measurement. But on the other hand, look at all the other ones. They are smaller. So in former times, they had like a measurement in Hamburg, they had one in Bremen, they had different ones. And so you really needed to know which measurement they were measuring with. So it was different in all the cities. And even in the Hansa towns, it was different. They had different measurements.
Is this made by bark?
Bark?
So it's because it's really thin. It's
No, this is not bark. It's definitely some very, very thin wooden material, which was most probably made by bending the timber with heat, with steam and so on.